Okay, today we are going to be talking about my favorite product from luxury brands that Sephora carries. So I'm just going to be doing one makeup product from what Sephora has deemed as their luxury brands. So if you go to their makeup section on their website, I think, you know, kind of over and down past the categories, they have like luxury brands. So I clicked there because I was curious to see, you know, what they thought were their luxury brands. It's basically all the brands that also have like large fashion houses. Dior, YSL, you get my drift, Tom Ford, Armani, you understand. So this video was really difficult to make because I just wanted to pick out one product, one makeup product from each of these brands. But I thought what I would do is take it from the point of view of like, if you were to come to me and you've never purchased any sort of luxury makeup before, you just wanted to buy one thing, you were interested in these brands, what would I recommend to you? So that's the viewpoint that I'm coming at. So we're gonna start with Dior. Now, this was tough. I'm gonna stop saying that because all of these brands were tough for me. But I'm gonna go with their Forever Skin Correct concealer. This has been such a long time love affair, if you will, and it's gone through one reformulation. I still very much enjoy it. It's always nerve-wracking when these companies reformulate some, you know, your favorite products. It's very, very nerve-wracking, but Dior pulled through. They pulled through, they did good. So when they reformulated this maybe like a couple years ago at this point, I was nervous, but it pretty much acted the same. I enjoyed it just as much as the previous version, their original version, I believe. This is just such a fantastic concealer. I can spot conceal with it. I can thin it out and put it all over as foundation. I can just put it on around my eyes. Because this blends out so beautifully, I don't feel like it has to be used with a foundation like a lot of concealers. This just blends right into your skin and you can just wear it alone. Of course, you can wear it with foundation if you want. It just has such a gorgeous texture. It's very creamy. The pigmentation, it's a concealer, so it's gonna be definitely on the higher side, but it never, ever looks cakey. And I've probably worn this in every combination possible. I've been using this concealer. I've been boring you guys with this concealer for probably, I don't know, what, 4 or 5 years at this point. I've gone through endless bottles of it. I can wear 2N and 1.5N. I have 2N on today. I just love it. I love it. The stick foundation, I was like, I don't know, but this one has been such a long time love, and I feel like if you're new to Dior and you want to get a sense of the line, this is a great place to start. So that is the Forever Skin Correct Concealer. Divine, absolutely divine. For Tom Ford, none of you will find this surprising, but their Eye Color Quad Cremes. So their eye color quads, just their straight up pressed powder eyeshadows, those are fine. They're very nice, they're silky, I think they blend out nicely, great. They have their like wet dry formula, which is their baked gel powder formula. You guys know I have raved about those in the past. They've become more commonplace, so I don't think they're that special for Tom Ford anymore. And this creme formula is the newest to their eyeshadows, and it's gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. So I actually have 2 of them on. So I have Smoky Quartz. This is definitely one of my favorite quads. So I have this one all over my lid, and I use my Westman Atelier Baby Blender brush. I just like jab it in there and then just sweep it all over my lid. This is such a great, like true camel color. This is a shade that typically on me, depending on, of course, you know, who the maker is and the formula, can very often turn warm on my lid. But this one stays very, very true to color. So I just get this really nice neutral beige. But this cream formula it just works really well. The pigmentation is great. It blends out beautifully. It's not patchy. It doesn't dry up. It doesn't ball up. It doesn't do anything strange that some cream shadows can do. It's really gorgeous. So that is Smoky Quartz. And then the other one that I really love is Rose Topaz. And these 2 were part of the original release of the creme formula. So I have some of this sparkly shade here. So I've had these a long time, and the Rose Topaz, you'll see it has a sparkly shade like I just pointed out. This one is a little bit more satiny. These 2 are a little bit more of like a soft matte, and in the Smoky Quartz, they're all that soft matte. This is just such a sultry, gorgeous, heading into like the summertime, like look. Like if you want to do like a nude look, like a typical Tom Ford kind of look. The like poolside, hair is slicked back, nude lip, really bronze skin, and this eyeshadow quad, very sultry, very sexy. But again, if this is your first time kind of delving into Tom Ford, I would say give these quads a shot. This will give you a really good sense, I think, of the brand, its aesthetic, its look, its feel. I think like these quads do a good job conveying that. For Valentino, I love these eye to cheek dual use blush and shadow. Now, I will admit, I only ever use these for blush. I had hopes and dreams that I would use it for my eyes as well as eyeshadow, which you can, of course. I just never, I keep them with my blushes. I just never think to use a shade, for instance, like this one, as an eyeshadow. I think it's just a little bit too red for me. It's just not my thing. So I do have this shade on as blush today, and this is number 4. This has a really nice red base, and all of these have a beautiful sheen. So I have 4 of these all together, and I will do, of course, swatches of everything I'm showing you. So let me go in order. Number 2, this is a beautiful, beautiful bright pink. Just gorgeous. And you can see it's got that gorgeous, like cool tone shimmer to it. Here is number 3, which is a fun lilac shade. Not terribly purple, there's just a hint of a blue undertone, but again, we've got that beautiful silvery metallic sheen to it. And that 4 is the one that I have on my cheeks. And then here is number 8, which is the peachy one that I love. These are gorgeous. These have a real cream to powder feel, much like the Tom Ford creme eyeshadows. They're really soft, they're really well pigmented, they blend out beautifully, they stay put, I don't feel like they fade, and they're just gorgeous. And I think if you like a sheen to your blush, you're gonna really, really enjoy these. So love these from Valentino. Next up, let's talk about Armani Beauty. So I have had a very, very long time love affair with Armani Beauty in general. When I was much, much younger, like in my 20s, I had a really hard time using makeup and color products because I do have very sensitive skin, and I used to suffer from eczema just very severely. And most of the time when I would go and use color products, especially lipsticks like on my lips or whatever, I would kind of end up getting like an eczema patch. Anyway, long story short, Armani Beauty never ever bothered my skin. And so I have tried so many of their products. So many of their products have come and gone. They've discontinued so many of my favorites. They've come out with new products that are just wonderful. And one of the first products that I absolutely fell in love with them, and it was actually the first time I ever used a product like this, it was a bronzer. And this was, I don't know, probably in the early 2000s, I got this bronzer and I started using it. It was the only makeup I used. And I remember I would just brush it all over and I was like, oh, wow, like I look tan or whatever. But I didn't know any better. It was before YouTube. It was before there were, makeup tutorials everywhere, and I wouldn't like bring it down. Anyway, one of my friends commented once and she was like, wow, you look really tan. And I said, yeah, thanks. She said, but just your face. Anyway, I have loved their bronzers for a very long time, and they have gone through a couple of reformulations and repackages and everything since I started using them, more than 20 years ago, and I still love them. So this Luminous Silk Bronzing Powder in shade 100 is just gorgeous. It has just a little bit of a shimmer in there. You can't really see it on the skin. On your skin, this bronzer looks like it has kind of a nice satiny kind of look to it. Not too dry, not too flat, just really, really healthy, very luminous silk. And the tone of this is a great bronzer. It's very neutral for my skin tone. It's very, very neutral. It's not too warm. It leans a little bit warm. It definitely adds a little bit of heat to your skin, which is, I think, what we want a bronzer to do. But I love also how giant this compact is. It's just so great to like stick a giant bronzer brush in here and be able to just dust it all over your face. So I have it pretty much dusted all over my face, like the high points of my face, my forehead, my nose, you know, the under the sunglasses line. That's pretty much where I have this applied, but it blends out beautifully. It's a great pressed powder. Definitely do not like bronzers that are overly pigmented because, you know, you don't want your friends saying like, oh, but just your face. So anyway, that is the Luminous Silk bronzing powder from Armani. All right, we'll just continue with the Italian fashion houses, Prada. You guys know I am a giant Prada fan. I have had the longest love affair with Prada. My very first designer bag was a Prada bag that I purchased back in 1995. Yes. Is that 30 years ago? That's 30 years ago now. Oh my God. Anyway, so they have recently come out with a beauty line, and while I love their eyeshadows, I really, really love their eyeliners. They're very innovative to me. I have the shade Ember on today. It's a cool tone brown with like a metallic sheen. I love it. It is just a gorgeous shade because I think a lot of browns, including this wood one from Prada, they're very neutral, sometimes warm, and I really like cool tone browns because they have that little bit of black in there, and I just think it really lends itself to, you know, adding dimension to your eyes. Anyway, it's the formula of these that are so good, and I have gone on and on and on in multiple videos now, ever since I got these eyeliners. I've gone on and on about this formula. They just work like magic because they set down and they don't transfer, like almost immediately, but they're not completely set down because you can still smudge them out. And what I did today with the Ember shade, because I actually had not tried it with these eyeliners, is sometimes I'll take a brush and actually run it over the eyeliner and then apply it with the brush. I was like, let's see how it works with that. It works great. I have it, you know, underneath my eyelashes, over my eyelashes, and then I kind of drag the brush along my lower lash line. Wonderful. It just works beautifully. It applies into the waterline beautifully, on my skin beautifully. It doesn't transfer, it doesn't smudge, yet you can smudge it out if you want. It's just amazing, absolutely amazing. And I think these are a great representation of Prada because they're just known for innovation, and I feel like these eyeliners are incredible. For Gucci, I will say the other product that I was going to mention is their bronzer. I just didn't mention their bronzer because I actually decluttered mine, and I was kind of going down memory lane and kind of thinking back to when Gucci kind of relaunched their whole beauty line. They had launched it, oh my gosh, years ago at this point with Pat McGrath as the creative director. That's when the compacts were black and they had the gold GGs, and I loved that beauty line. I was so upset when they basically did away with that whole beauty line. Alessandro Michele became the creative director of Gucci, and I guess under his, you know, creative head, they developed a new line. And when they launched that beauty line, it was very exciting because there was nothing for a long time, and the aesthetic of it is completely different. It's what we know today, you know, with the, I don't know, almost like a grandma's vanity feel to all of it. But they first launched with their lipsticks, and so I wanted to mention their satin lipsticks. So I'm just not really a matte lipstick lover, but if you like matte lipsticks, they're also very, very beautiful. But I remember the most from their launch of their lipsticks is they had any kind of nude shade you could even dream up, from cool tones to warm tones to light to darks. I mean, they had so many. Do you guys remember like going onto the Gucci site? It launched there first before it, you know, moved over to Sephora and everything. But if you go to the Gucci site, it was like you could, you know, click on the color chips, and it felt like it went on forever. And I love that. I love that they just made this huge splash when it came to their lipsticks. And I got them when they launched. And so since then I've decluttered them because they got too old. A lot of them turned, yada, yada. But I did repurchase one, and this is Mary Mauve. And that's what I have on my lips today. This is such a great, cool toned, purpley mauve shade. It is the perfect mauve shade. And their satin lipsticks, so comfortable. So comfortable. Nourishing, moisturizing feeling, very, very creamy feeling, very, very well pigmented, just gorgeous. And I love the case. I mean, they're so Gucci. Well, you know, I say they're so Gucci, but who knows what Gucci's going to turn into. But they are so Gucci of that time, which I don't know, it's kind of the heyday of Gucci at this point. Anyway, so nostalgic for me. Such great lipsticks, beautiful shade range. Even though they've pared them back, it's still like a great shade range. So the Gucci satin lipsticks, I think this is a great starting point for the line. For YSL, again, very difficult, very difficult, but I did go with their Love Shine lipsticks. So YSL has a lot of these like tinted moisturizing lip products, and I definitely have been very confused by them in the past. So I actually had to look them up because I was like, wait, which is the one that I love the most? Because I do know which one it is, but I never know what the name is. Anyway, they have these Love Shines. They have Candy Glow and they have Candy Glaze. So the Love Shines kind of fall in the middle in terms of moisture, in terms of pigmentation. The Candy Glow, which is like a tinted butter balm, they have like the least pigmentation. They have like a subtle glow and they have very little pigmentation. They're very sheer. And then they have the Candy Glaze, and those have the most glow. Those have the most pigmentation. So my favorite is the Love Shine. They kind of fall right in the middle. And I do have 3 shades here, but there's just something about the formula of these. They're really moisturizing, and the pigmentation right in the middle, so it doesn't look like you don't have anything on. It's not that subtle, but it's light, and you can, you know, put them on without a mirror. So this one is shade number 207. So nice kind of earthy brown. And then I do have shade 200. This is a really pretty peach shade. And then here is 204. It's the one right in the middle. And it's pretty much right in the middle. It's a little bit warmer than 200, not quite as deep as 207. So I love the shade range. They have great nudes. Again, the formula is really great. And for YSL, I really do think they shine when it comes to their lip products. So I think this is a really great place to start. And if you do want something more va-va-voom with like more gloss look to it, more pigmentation, you can go with the Candy Glaze or get the Candy Glow. If you just want something that's like just a lightly tinted kind of like balm, like nothing too shiny, nothing too like pigmented, you can definitely go in that direction. So I think if you start here, it's a great place to start with YSL. Next up, I want to talk about Hourglass, and I think you guys can all agree with me. It is their ambient lighting powders. It is what they launched the brand with. I remember this was like, you know, me kind of dabbling back into makeup, and here was this new brand. I'd never seen them before. I'm in Sephora, and they had these beautiful powders. I mean, they were just so eye-catching. I had no idea what I was gonna do with them. They were kind of glowy. I was like, the idea of a highlighter was so foreign to me. And so it was exciting. And it was even like before they changed their logo, they had that different lettering. Do you guys remember? It was like more like graphic. Anyway, it was like super cool. So the ambient lighting powders for sure. So I'm holding up their palette, the lighting palette volume 2. They have a volume 1, which is their original. It is definitely probably better suited for my skin tone. They have this volume 2, and they have volume 3, which is for deeper skin tones. I wanted to try this out, and Hourglass actually gifted this to me because the summertime. Who knows, maybe I'll want something a little bit bronzier, a little bit deeper, but they have such a silky, smooth feel to them. These powders are just gorgeous. If you want like a subtle glow, a glow from within, a light from within, like if you want to look truly luminous, try these Hourglass powders. It is definitely the first place you want to start. They have, as we all know, they have those 6-pan, limited edition palettes that come out. They have these. They're always coming out with different versions of their ambient, lighting powders. And they know that this is like their hero product. And I love so many of their products, their lip products, their foundations, their primer. So many of their products are good, but I think this is what they're known for, and for good reason. They're just absolutely stunning. So for Hourglass, definitely start with the ambient lighting powders. Okay, now I saved Westman Atelier for last because up until I sat down to film, I was like, I don't know. I don't know. I pretty much enjoy every single one of Westman Atelier's products, all of them. from the foundations to the highlighters to their lip products, and now those blush duos. It's just, I had a really, really hard time. So I am sticking with an oldie but goodie, the one that I keep talking about. It's their Lit Up Highlight Stick in Nectar. I do have it on my skin today. I took a brush. I usually just swipe, tap in with my finger, and go about my day. Today, I was like, let me use a brush. Why not? So I ran a brush over it, and then I just kind of pounced it all over. And I just couldn't stop. I usually just put it here, but I put it all over my cheek. The shine that this gives, the finish that this has is so gorgeous. It's glossy. It's not a super high shine. I think it makes my skin look a little wet, but you know, it's not like one of those, it's not like the Dior Glow Highlighter where you look like wet, you know? It's not like the Hindash where you look really, really wet. This is a little bit more subtle. It's a little bit more mature, if you will. It's just gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. And this Nectar shade is just perfect for lighter skin tones. There are different shades. The original shade, which has almost this like cool tone bluish shift to it. I think that one's just called Lit now. It didn't have a shade name because that was the only one when she launched the highlight sticks. I think it's just called Lit. And then she has deeper ones. I think the deeper one is called Brulee. And that is one, if you have a deeper skin tone, that one is gorgeous. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with this one. If you want to start with Westman Atelier, I think it is important to start with one of her stick products because that's what she launched with. That's sort of what she's known for. I remember a lot of her, I don't know, Instagram reels or her stories, or not even tutorials, but just, you know, marketing pieces that she would put out for her line. She was like in the back of a cab and doing her makeup really, really quickly and just tapping things on with her finger. And I think that really is kind of like the essence of the Westman Atelier brand. It's very urban, it's very on the go, it's like quick, quick, quick. And it just makes you look very put together very, very quickly in a very subtle way. So this Lit Up Highlight Stick, it's so good. Nectar is the shade that I love. All right, guys, that is it. So those are my single favorite product from 10 luxury brands that we have at Sephora. So the savings event is going on. Use the code SAVEMORE if you're shopping online. It is still only open for Rouge members. On Tuesday, it will be open for VIB and insiders. So definitely take advantage, get some dollars off, and let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.